What's going on, guys? Blackwoods here and welcome back to another Last of Us 2 informational video. Now there's been a lot going on in the Last of Us 2 community lately, especially with Sony announcing a bunch of news on the next-gen PS5s. Now last night there was this really interesting article that Sony themselves have officially dropped on their website regarding the plans for the next-gen consoles, productions, as well as the release dates. And there's also been this really interesting part here where they gave us a little insight on how the first-party games might or even might not get affected by the new global pandemic that's been going on around the world lately. Now there's been a lot of misguided or so-called rumors that have been stated that The Last of Us Part 2 will be delayed due to whatever has been going on in the world. You know it, I can't say the word because YouTube tends to demonetize the video if I say it. Now last night Sony published a brand new article. Now in this new article, Sony stated something really interesting, quoting this. Sony extends its condolences to the families of those who have passed away as a result of the CV and extends its sympathy to all those who have been infected. The Sony Group is primarily focusing on ensuring the safety of its employees and their family as well as its customers and the stakeholders. In addition to preventing the further spread of the CV, Sony is also striving to answer the needs to the society and its customers to the best of its abilities. And they went on to say the game and network service segments, Sony estimates that there will be no material impacts on this business for the current fiscal year. Although no issues have emerged so far, Sony is carefully monitoring the risk of delays in production schedules for the game software titles at both its first-party studios and partnered studios, primarily in Europe and the United States. Well, now what does this mean? So Sony basically is assuring that they are currently not having any issues with their business side of things and that there will be no impact on the material side of things, which basically states the production and the sales of the PS5. So this basically means that Sony wants us to know that there will be no delays with the release of the PlayStation 5 and that we will be most probably getting the next-gen consoles as promised in the holidays of 2020. Now what's really bothering me is the statement where they talked about the first-party game softwares. Now if you take a close look into what they actually mean here, Sony very carefully are stating that although there are no issues that have emerged so far, meaning currently, for the production of the first-party games, and they have stated here that they are carefully monitoring the risk of delays in production schedules for game software titles for both the first-party and partner studios in Europe and the US. Now what this statement basically means is that as of now, Sony is not facing any issues with the production of the first-party games like The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima and such, but they are indeed carefully looking into the risk of these games being delayed. Now I want you guys to listen very carefully. Now Sony is not confirming or even stating that their upcoming first-party games are going to be delayed or not going to be delayed as a 100% guaranteed situation here. Now things could always change depending on the current situation of what's going on with the global pandemic. Now there's a lot of things happening in the world and there's so many business and economic falls happening all around the world and things could change its face overnight. So Sony basically is just saying that their upcoming first-party titles such as The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, which are set to be launching in the month of May and June, may or may not be affected by the diseased situation that's going on around the world. Which means we are not supposed to get overexcited about the release dates that are currently scheduled for these games. Now, if things go a little bit out of hands, then these games may be delayed as well. So what I would like to ask you guys is to not have very high hopes for the current release dates, as they may or may not even be changed. Now just know this, that this is not your fault, nor is it Sony's fault or even the developers working on these games, but none of us asked for all of these things to happen. All we wanted and still want to have is a smooth release for these games that we have been waiting for a very long period of time. Now I don't want to be that YouTube guy who is just overhyped about these games and want to assure you guys that Last of Us 2 will not be delayed 100% or whatsoever, because that is just a naive way of thinking things around, as none of us asked for what's happening around the world, and things could always change in order to ensure the safe being of those who are working on these projects. Now listen, this is not my opinion or this is not what I want to see as well, but looking at what Sony have themselves stated in the article on their official page, they basically are saying that they are carefully monitoring the risk of delays on these games, which means there is still a risk of these games maybe getting delayed if things go out of hands, and nobody can do anything about it. Now, I don't want to be assuring you guys like any other YouTuber saying that these games is 100% going to be releasing on May 29th as promised, because Sony themselves have mentioned that there still are risks involving in the delay of these productions. And anyone saying that The Last of Us 2 is not getting delayed 100% have neither not understood what the statement means, or they are just stuck in the overhyped mindset just like most of us are. And they completely fail to look at the facts that are placed right in front of them. So all I want to ask you guys to do is to not get overhyped about these release dates at the current status of what's going on around the world. Because I've been seeing a lot of channels that have been assuring their subscriber base saying that the game is not going to be getting delayed, or either that it's going to be getting delayed. Now, first and foremost, you need to know that these guys are just like you and me. We just make YouTube videos. That's the only difference. Now, they don't work at Sony, nor do they have any rights to decide the release dates of any of these games. So things could change, as Sony themselves have said that there is a risk of it happening, or maybe even not. So please don't listen to any of these channels that give you like 100% guarantee, because they themselves are setting you up for a huge disappointment if things go south. Because nobody knows what's going to be tomorrow with the state of global pandemic effects that's actually happening right now all around the world. So what I want you guys to do is to go down in the comment section and let us know what you think could basically happen. Do you believe that there's a chance for The Last of Us 2 or even Ghost of Tsushima to get delayed, or do you think that these games will release exactly as planned? What's your personal opinion on this one? Please feel free to go ahead and share your comments down below in the comment section. And I also want to let you guys know that I am running a giveaway for The Last of Us Part 2 and Cyberpunk 2077 Standard Edition. So if you want to win a free copy for yourself, then make sure to let me know in the comments down below with which platform you guys would like to win Cyberpunk 2077. And of course, The Last of Us is a PlayStation exclusive, so you can't really be choosing the platforms right there. And I will be picking the winners from the comments depending on how active and supportive you are towards the community that we have been striving to be building on this channel. And if you guys want to watch more of The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and even Cyberpunk 2077 videos, and if you guys are looking for a YouTube channel that will be covering every little information and tips and tricks and guides for these games, then you should consider subscribing to my channel, as it is absolutely free of cost. And also make sure that you guys turn on your notifications, because that is how you know when I upload a brand new video. And now if you guys did go on and enjoy this video, or even found this information useful, then please leave a like, as it does help the video out. And also follow me on Twitter if you guys want to know all the latest news and updates on all these games first. With that being said, I hope you guys have a blast of a day, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Till then, take care fams, and goodbye.